Have you ever been subject to a conversation or a heated debate revolving around the topic of vaccinating of children? Wouldn't you rather be armed with your own educated opinion rather than just some information you got from a biased news source or a subjective news story? Now, I know what you're thinking, that I'm here to tell you you need to go vaccinate your children right away, or that I'm going to tell you about how bad vaccines are for you. My goal is not to persuade you, rather give you the facts about vaccines so that way you can make an educated decision for yourself. So today, I'm going to talk about the history of vaccines, a little bit about how they work, and I'm going to cover some of the concerns that revolve around the topic. The Children's Hospital of Philadelphia states that the vaccines in the United States date back to 1721 when Puritan minister Cotton Mather spread the idea of vaccinating against smallpox after an outbreak of the disease. It was in 1796 that Edward Jenner, an English scientist and physician, discovered the use of vaccines similar to the methods used today. It was when he observed that milkmaids who had previously had cowpox showed zero symptoms of smallpox after being exposed to the smallpox virus. It was then that he decided he would take the material from the blisters on their arms and use that material to vaccinate others, which in turn created immunity to the smallpox virus. In 1855, Massachusetts became the first state to require school children to become vaccinated. Very soon after, many other states followed suit. In 1879, the first lab-created vaccine was developed, and in 1885, the rabies vaccine was created. Over the next 100 years, several more vaccines were created, including vaccines for tetanus, measles, and mumps. In 1955, the polio vaccine was released. After about a month, the polio vaccine program was suspended due to investigating cases of paralysis as a result of the vaccine. After about 3 weeks, they continued the program, and over the next 10 years, they reduced the amount of cases from almost 29,000 to less than 100. The Centers for Disease Control reported that in 1979, polio was eliminated from the United States and was totally eliminated from the Western Hemisphere by 1994. They also stated that smallpox had been globally eradicated in 1980, and that there's no smallpox left in the world with the exception of in two labs, one in the United States and one in Russia. Now you know a little bit more about the history of vaccines. I want to talk about how they work. So vaccines are currently given in the form of a shot. Some of those shots prevent against multiple diseases, such as the MMR vaccine, which prevents against measles, mumps, and rubella. The CDC states that the way they work is that they imitate a specific type of infection, which rarely results in the actual illness. Your body over the next few weeks creates T lymphocytes and B lymphocytes. These are defensive white blood cells which have a memory of how to fight off a specific disease. They remain in your body over the years and then fight off those diseases or off the viruses that they remember how to fight off that specific disease for. One idea behind vaccinations is the idea of herd immunity. Herd immunity, the way it works, is that a disease can only continue to spread until it reaches a person who is immune to the disease. They cannot become infected and they cannot spread the disease. The higher the population that is vaccinated and immune, the greater the chance of stopping the spread of the disease. This helps protect those who are immune compromised or are too young to become vaccinated. According to Dr. Manis Sattarajini, it would take a vaccination rate of 90 to 95% for measles, or for diseases that are less contagious like polio, 80 to 85% for herd immunity to work. Now you know also a little bit more about how they work and have a better understanding. I want to talk about some of the safety concerns that revolve around early childhood vaccination. The number one concern that I hear is that vaccines cause autism. Thimerosal is the active ingredient, which is a preservative that many believe causes brain damage, speech delays, and autism. This has been a highly debated topic over the year, and the latest studies prove that there is no link between the two. In a study published in 2015 by the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences in the United States of America, determined that through its tests of the recommended vaccines of 1990 and 2008, that none of those vaccines caused behavioral or neuropathic changes related to autism. Another study published in 2019 by Annals of Internal Medicine in Denmark of over 600,000 children between the years of 1999 and 2010 deemed that, or concluded, strongly believed that there was no link between the MMR vaccine and the risk of autism. Now, if I were going to tell you that vaccines are 100% safe, that would be a lie. The CDC states that the most common reactions to vaccines are redness and swelling at the injection site, soreness, and fever, all which resolve themselves within a few days. However, there are much more serious reactions that can happen, such as anaphylactic shock, seizures, and even death. The CDC states the chances of these serious reactions happening, however, are 1 in a million. With much debate revolving around the topic of early childhood education, please be aware that not everything you hear is going to be the truth. I hope that you take some of the knowledge that I gained from today from me about the history of vaccines, about the way that they work, and some of the safety concerns. That way you can make an educated decision for yourself. Just remember that there's going to be biased news outlets out there that have their own agenda as priority, and there's going to be people telling you that vaccines are good or bad based off of hearsay. I highly encourage you to do your own research, however. Please make sure that the research you're doing is from reputable sources, such as scholarly medical journals and scientific studies. Thank you.